So last night I got to see the LEGO Ninjago movie for the first time, and I promised you guys a review, so here we go. The LEGO Ninjago movie has been proclaimed as the worst LEGO movie in the growing cinematic universe of LEGO films, and so far has had a pretty mixed run with critics. Now, normally my opinions tend to match up with those of the critics, but this time it's something different. I am very happy to report that after my viewing of the LEGO Ninjago movie, most of my expectations were met. I thoroughly enjoyed this movie. As a Ninjago fan, this movie really was a treat. A big screen adaptation that does not disappoint was my wish, and it came true. Now it's no secret. I love this movie. But first of all, let me just say that this movie is far from perfect. I definitely could point out some things that need improvement, but overall I had fun. My original plan for this review was to divide it up into categories, separated by transitions, similar to my last video, but I've decided against that. Something that I should point out before we get started is that this review will be 100% spoiler free, but I do have a spoiler review coming out tomorrow, so if you would like to hear me discuss some spoilers for the movie, be sure to come back tomorrow. Otherwise, let's just jump right into it. As I've said before, the story for the movie is pretty simple. A high school kid named Lloyd and his group of friends go undercover as the secret ninja force because they need to defend the land of Ninjago from the evil Lord Garmadon. That may be the story on the outside, but when you actually watch the movie, it's much more. The story of the movie is a tad weaker than some of the other LEGO Cinematic Universe films, but I still enjoyed it. The movie centers around Lloyd and his quest to battle his father and work with his fellow ninja to unlock more secrets. That's just another gripe I had with the movie. The fact that Lloyd has the majority of the screen time is a little unfair to me. Sure, Lloyd is the main character, but the other ninjas should get some love too. Don't get me wrong, the other ninja definitely added to the story, but they could have been involved a little bit more. But speaking of which, let me talk about these characters because honestly they were pretty awesome. Let's start off with the main character, Lloyd, voiced by Dave Franco. Being the green ninja, he holds the most responsibility of all of them and is the team leader. Lloyd is pretty strong as a character, but as we see in the film, he's a little arrogant. He does evolve as the movie progresses, but his main source of incompetence comes from having to face his father. Lloyd is my favorite ninja in general, but he was not my favorite character in the movie, but we'll get to that character soon enough. Next up from the ninja lineup is Kai, voiced by Michael Pena. In this movie, Kai acts as you would expect. He's brash, reckless, sarcastic, and just Kai overall. I can tell that he shares a deep friendship with Lloyd, and he probably supports him the most out of the rest of the team. Next up on my list is Jay, voiced by this guy whose name I cannot pronounce. Jay is Jay. That's pretty much all I need to say. He carries over the humor from the other incarnation, but he acts a little more innocent, which I love. He seems to be the weakest member of the ninja team, but there's a reason for his lack of confidence. Speaking of confidence, Nia is the definition of that word. In this movie, she's not afraid to get her hands dirty when it comes to rescuing her fellow ninja, and actively calls them out when they do something stupid. Abby Jacobson definitely gives it her all in this role. I did feel like the movie was pushing the whole progressive era thing a little too much with Nia, but it did not get annoying. Cole's up next, voiced by Fred Armisen, and he's pretty chill. He is the most lax ninja of the group, but he still represents the earth element due to his strength. I was really impressed with Cole in this movie. He contributed a lot more than I thought he would. The last ninja I need to cover is Zane the Ninjaroid, voiced by Zach Woods. My favorite thing about movie Zane is the fact that he seems to be trying way too hard to fit in. As a ninja, he's pretty strong, and can definitely get into the action. The ninja sensei is voiced by Jackie Chan, and in this movie, Master Wu is just okay. He's there for guidance whenever the ninja meet a dead end, and he's also part of a really nice fight scene. Lloyd's mom, Coco, is another major player in this movie, and she is played by Olivia Munn. Her backstory is interesting, but in the present day, she's mainly just there to support Lloyd and yell at Garmadon. But speaking of the Dark Lord himself, Lord Garmadon, played by Justin Theroux, is by far my favorite thing about this movie. In my opinion, Garmadon is one of, if not the best character in the entire LEGO Cinematic Universe. He's awesome, charming, and just straight up hilarious. Garmadon stole every scene he was in. He and Lloyd play off of each other beautifully in this movie, and I really do hope that we get to see Garmadon again in a future LCU film. Talking about Garmadon reminds me of one of the film's strong points, that being the comedy. Not every joke lands, but I found myself laughing quite frequently. Most of the jokes, of course, come from Garmadon himself, but the other ninja, especially Jay, have their own comedic moments to shine. Stemming away from the comedy though, this movie also has some heart. I have no idea what other reviews are getting at, but the relationship between Lloyd and Garmadon in particular is really sweet. I actually found myself tearing up in this movie, which is surprising. I can't remember the last time I actually cried during a movie, and not because it was horrible. As for the action, it's pretty much what you would expect from Ninjago. Punches and kicks are thrown, and the ninjas' individual mechs do a lot of battle. The action featuring the actual LEGO elements themselves is also really well done, just like the previous LEGO movies. The writing itself is also something I need to praise. One of my favorite aspects from the entire movie was the dialogue between characters. A lot of it was in the script, but I can tell that the voice actors actually improvised much of the interactions between characters. It paid off big, which I found to be very awesome. Of course, this movie is still not perfect, so I'm going to quickly go over a few things that I thought could have been improved. The main problem I had with this movie is, again, the lack of screen time, and just the overall involvement of the other ninja. I've mentioned this before, but I'll mention it again. This really did bother me. More teamwork and collaborative action would have been most appreciated. Also, some shots were reused in this movie from scene to scene. I get what they were going for in terms of the anime reference, but it did feel a little redundant from time to time. Also, despite what promotional material may have you believe, Meowth does not have a huge role in this movie, but overall I had a blast with this movie. It's not as good as the original LEGO movie in my opinion, but I definitely prefer this one over the LEGO Batman movie. I love the comedy, characters, action, voice actors. Most things just work for me personally, but I do find it necessary to point out the flaws that the movie has. Overall, guys, I'm gonna give this movie a solid 8.5 out of 10. I would definitely recommend this movie to any Ninjago fan out there, or even fans of LEGO. If you aren't familiar with the subject of Ninjago itself, you may find it a little difficult to comprehend what's going on at times, but it's still an enjoyable time, and I cannot wait to see this movie again. So there you have it, guys. Please tell me what you thought of the movie down below, and also don't forget, I'm currently producing a spoiler review which should be up sometime tomorrow, so be sure to look out for that. But besides that, thank you guys so very much for watching. This was my review of the LEGO Ninjago movie. If you enjoyed, be sure to give this video a thumbs up rating, and as always, be sure to hit that subscribe button, guys, because it really does mean a lot to me. Don't forget to leave a comment stating what you thought of the video itself or the subject matter, or if you just had a general comment, that's fine too. Also, don't forget to leave your video suggestions down below as well for a chance to have your idea featured as an actual video sometime later on. Thank you guys so very much for watching once again. My name is Tanner Fishies, and with that, I bid you farewell.